Hello, friends. It's time for Talk Fort Dodge, the show that uncovers the stories behind the houses in the heart of our community. I'm Jeremiahjcondon.
And I'm Todd McCubbin, and we are here with Lily Hemrick this week. But before we talk to Lily, let's do a quick market update.
Market update. Houses are selling.
Yes, they are.
Things are crazy. And we had a blizzard yesterday, kind of slowed things down for one day.
Yeah, this is coming out here in a week or so. So, yeah, just remember the blizzard of, the 19th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just compared numbers with last year at this time, and something that kind of surprised me is the average sales price is actually lower. It's $6,000 lower, but this does not surprise me at all. Compared to last year, houses on the market were 64 days on average.
Yep.
This year, it's 81.
That makes sense.
It does.
And if you noticed, I've really picked up over the last 30 days. Before that, it was kind of slow, and it's kind of funny how it picked up with kind of the $100,000 less houses like a month ago, and then 3 weeks ago it was like 100 to 125, and last week it was the 125 to 175, and now this week I'm starting to get some traction on things a little more expensive. So it's neat kind of watch the market kind of start plugging away and doing what it does, and hopefully here we're cooking. With,
interest rates are just kind of stagnant.
Yeah,
it's right around that 6 to 6.5. They don't really go under that, but for a while it hasn't gone over 7 for quite a while.
Yep, and the Fed just met, and they didn't raise interest rates, but they also didn't lower interest rates. So,
I have a couple fun facts.
Okay.
One is, I don't know anything about this, but I just read the sentence. I don't even know if it's true or not, but it says Japan demolishes their houses after 30 years.
Really?
Fort Dodge would only have about 200 houses.
Yeah, if we did that. Yeah, there's not many. I think McDonald's tears buildings down after 30 years, too. They just build new ones.
Do they?
Yeah, well,
they completely remodel.
Yeah, last time in both of them, they tore them completely down, started over with new concrete, built them back up. So they tear them down and build them new.
Maybe that's a book out of the Japanese book.
Yeah, every 25, 30 years.
Pricing psychology. There's research that shows that there's 4s and 7s in them. They are more successful to sell. And I read into it goes really deep, and it makes sense. And it says prices such as $444,000 or $447,000 have been proven to be more successful than $450,000.
Yeah. We always do the 9s. Everybody always puts a 9 on the end of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because then it's not $450 anymore.
That's right. It's $449.
$449.9. And you know the reality TV show Extreme Home Makeover?
Mm-hmm.
There's an extreme high percentage of people that have had their houses done on that show that had to sell almost immediately after because the house assessments, the tax assessments went up so high that the people could no longer afford the houses.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, but it makes sense.
Kind of sad, kind of crazy.
Yep.
Feature house of the week is 424 North 19th Street here in Fort Dodge. It is 1,654 square feet, which you would not think that by looking at it from the front.
No.
3-bedroom, 1 bath. It has kind of like a finished attic upstairs, and it's just one full attic, and it is awesome.
It's really cool.
And it is one of those houses that you move into, and you just hang your pictures.
Yep.
There's nothing else that needs to be done. There's 2 family rooms.
Yeah, the family room on the back is really cool.
And then
That's
the
nice.
basement is just wide open. It's unfinished, but it's got painted floors, painted so it's clean. It's not scary. You could have an exercise room, toy room, playroom.
Yep, whatever you want to have down there.
Yeah.
Yep, and that attic works really well for a playroom too.
Yes.
So, yeah, lots of square footage.
Yes. So give us a call.
That's right.
Give me a call, not Todd.
Yeah. No. Give Todd a call. All right. So we were here with Lily, and I think I've known Lily. I feel like I've known her whole life.
It feels like
it does.
It
like
does.
She's always kind of been around and looking out for us, and I've been trying to look out for her. It's worked okay.
Yeah.
How about you've known her whole life or your whole life? Because
her whole
you
life,
look like
yes.
you're about 60 years older.
I have kids older than her.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Mm-hmm. But tell us about you, what you do, and...
So my name is Lily Hemrick. I am a Fort Dodge native. I moved around quite a bit during my high school years, but came back to Fort Dodge to spend more time with my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles. I have a lot of family here. I have siblings here. And no matter where I was in the Midwest, Fort Dodge always felt like home to me, and my heart always pulled me back. So I had to come back and go to Iowa Central for a little bit. started working in the restaurant business and found a passion for serving people. Yep. I really enjoy that aspect of my life. I've always felt like my purpose has been to serve others and be a part of the community.
So we talk about being servers and doing what we do, working in the restaurant industry and then doing what you do, or being a realtor or being whatever, and how it really makes a difference.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
how well people do in this industry by, growing up in the food industry as a server.
I think everybody should wait tables at some point in their career.
100%. I agree.
In their life.
Completely changes your view on communication skills, and it opens you up to all different avenues of life. So as a really shy, introverted girl going through school, it really opened me up.
Brought you out.
Yeah.
I had girls that came through the restaurant that went in nursing degrees, and they would come back and say, oh my gosh, the restaurant helped me so much just by walking into a patient's room. They know how to start a conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
Instead of getting somebody a drink or they have to get their shots prepared but you have to have that small talk, and you have to just be willing to throw yourself out there.
Yes, it is kind of scary at first, but I totally agree. It is about throwing yourself out there and staying true to yourself. Your personality will shine through more than a scripted message at a table. And 9 times out of 10, your table is more likely to have a better experience when you're being yourself and letting your personality shine through that.
Yep. Exactly.
And not talk about us, but this is what we're going to do right now is people call us salespeople. It's a sales industry, and it makes me so mad.
Yes.
Because I service the client. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to give them good service. And if I give them good service, they'll come back, If I'm just in it for sales, you think of it as like a commission. You get paid. Well,
yeah, you get
that's you do, but that's
not what you do.
I don't look at it that way.
Only reason you do it, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah, money is not always the reward. It's more of the
Correct.
gratification of being able to help others in a situation that they might not know about. So that's kind of the avenue that I have been going with working with Bickford Senior Living now, and just kind of navigating through life. Is my mission in life is to educate others and to serve others in the community that might not have the knowledge and experience to figure it out themselves.
Wonderful.
Well, you told us a little bit about your background, but why did you choose Bickford?
I chose Bickford because my title is a family advocate. That stuck out to me 100%. Advocacy, serving others, serving the community. And I truly wanted to do something that fulfilled that purpose within me. And the moment that I walked into Bickford, it was nothing like I expected. It was somebody's home. Yep. And when you get that feeling that, okay, this is home for the residents that live here, it was inspiring to me to help others learn about Bickford Senior Living and be that point of contact for other people that might not know anything about assisted living or memory care, or what avenue to take with their loved one. So it was a drawing effect. Like I felt pulled to it. And I took that leap because at the end of the day, it's community to me. And
you got to do what your heart tells you to do.
Exactly.
And follow
I was
your passions.
following my heart, and it's scary, leaving certain jobs that you've been at for so long and trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do for the rest of my life, or what can I do right now within my community to serve people and help and feel like I'm serving that purpose. It's a scary jump, but like you said, following your heart will always be my number one piece of advice.
So what inspires you to work with seniors?
Oh, man. So I love my grandparents through and through. My mom had me pretty young, and so I was grateful and blessed to be able to know my great-grandparents. And my great-grandparents, they lived in Spencer, Iowa, and it was my grandma needing a little bit more help, not remembering us all the time of coming to visit. That really struck me personally. That made me think, I want to learn more about what's going on with grandma. I want to know, why are things kind of slightly changing here? And I I truly don't know if a lot of my family understood what was going on, but through time, we, educating ourselves, we got to know that. And just thinking that, making sure that she had somebody there, or our family gave her that support to be there for her, was super important to me. And it inspired me with other seniors in the community that might not have that. They might not have the same kind of family support that my family was able to give, my grandparents, and to be able to share that kind of love and family feeling was super inspiring to me.
Difficult.
It is difficult.
Yeah, my grandma had Alzheimer's, terrible, and you'd go in there and she looked at me once just before she passed away, and I said, "I'm Todd," and she looked at me because her brain was still in the 80s, and she goes, "You're Todd?" Like she recognized the name, she knew who Todd was, but she looked at me like as a 40-year-old.
Yep,
not a 7-year-old, and she goes, it almost didn't make sense in her head. It was.
I completely understand that. On a separate side of the family, my great grandma on my mom's dad's side, when I would go and visit her, she was over in Friendship Haven, and when I would visit her, she thought that I was my mom.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I look like my mom. I kind of talk like my mom. And I was totally fine with that because it meant something to her that, oh my gosh, Tara's visiting me.
Yep.
And I said, I'm Lily, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We can hang out and talk and reminisce, and just knowing that support and that love, it's a feeling, and it brings comfort and joy. And that's what I want to do for seniors that may not have that, or seniors that do have that family support. Giving them that extra love and extra care doesn't cost anything.
No. How is Bickford different than other facilities?
I find Bickford a little bit different than other facilities by fostering that home-like environment. When you walk through Bickford's door, it is a living room. You are in someone's living room, and you have your dining room and a private dining space for families to have private meals and enjoy space together with each other. But you also notice that you walk in and you see the guys on the couch watching a basketball game, or a couple ladies that are sharing stories over some soaps that are on the TV. So it really truly feels like a community, and you won't see a med cart being pushed down the hall. You won't have a dining hall. We have, the dining room. Also, our nationally recognized senior health model, the Higher Path, is something that we've brought to Bickford Senior Living, and it is being proactive about your care and getting ahead of those issues rather than being reactive to the adverse events that might happen in your life, and taking those extra steps to make sure that that fall doesn't happen, or we're not taking our meds quite properly, making sure that we're taking those steps to plan for the future. I found that really different than it just being a healthcare job. Right. It feels more of like a family, and we're here to serve our loved ones within our community. And truly, everybody that walks through the door or comes to live with us at Bickford, they become family. It doesn't just stop at Bickford. Might not be the right place for one, but my love and my care doesn't stop there. It truly goes beyond that, and I like to help them find the best community or the best home possible for their loved one.
Nice.
You just described it a little bit, but do you have like specialized programs for people?
We have special programs in place to make sure that we're being proactive about our health care. So we have partnered with Curana Health to make sure that we have a practitioner that comes in on site once a week to go over anybody that signs up with her as either a primary or a secondary physician. So that also gives us another set of eyes and a practitioner there in the building. So if you have a slight cough, you get seen by your Curana provider. We might be getting ahead of that rather than just letting it go, oh, it's seasonal. You never know. Or some seniors may be a little bit more quiet about their pain. So that extra set of eyes or another person to intervene and say, hey, what's going on here? They might open up a little bit more to one person versus the next. We also partner with Millennium Therapy. So we have physical, occupational, and speech therapy that can also tie into cognitive therapy that come in on site as well. So all of your assets are right there. You have therapy, you have your physician that comes in. Our pharmacy is delivered straight to our door. And so you don't have to pick up your prescription. You don't have to rely on family to do it. It is all streamlined. So you don't necessarily have to go anywhere, although you are allowed to. It is nice to just have it in-house. With that, we also have, our life enrichment program that has constant activities 7 days a week throughout the day that are specialized to our residents' wants, needs, likes, dislikes. So we're not just putting, every day we have bingo. Do you actually like to play bingo every day? Or what would you rather do instead? And some may like gardening in the summertime or the springtime. That's something that we'll absolutely do for you. We want to make sure that you maintain all of your personal qualities and the things that you used to love to do at home. Bring that to Bickford and we will make it happen. Our motto is whatever it takes. So whatever it takes to make you feel like you're right at home, we want to do that for you.
So dementia and Alzheimer's comes up a lot, and you talk about memory care. You don't just do memory care at Bickford, you do anybody, right?
We are memory care accessible. There are other residents there that don't need memory care, that just might need that little bit of extra assistance with taking my meds properly on time every day, or I might need a little assistance in the shower, laundry, housekeeping, things like that. When you come to Bickford, each resident has their own apartment. So you bring your own stuff from home to make it look however you would please. You have a little kitchenette. If something doesn't fit in your refrigerator in there, we'll keep it for you. So it's completely personalized to you in the individual's care. Whether you're memory care or not, we want to be able to meet your needs.
That's cool. So speaking specifically of memory care, what are some of the things we should look for in our family, and when thinking about memory care? There are certain symptoms that stick out?
I think the number one symptom that comes to mind for anybody is kind of forgetting things. Delayed speech is another one that I've noticed if it's taking a little bit longer for you to respond. And I also think that a lot of seniors kind of try to cover that up a little bit. So you got to look deeper than that. Are we not doing the things that we once loved anymore? Are we not going out? Are we not being social as we once were? When you truly know somebody, Joyce might, every single day, she brushes her hair, brushes her teeth, and puts on the same necklace. Well, she's not putting on that necklace anymore. Is there a reason behind that? And if she, I forgot. Where's that necklace at?
Where's my necklace at?
Those little things matter more to the bigger picture. And I think it's such a hard conversation, It's so nobody wants to think, oh, gosh, my mom or my dad or my grandma, grandpa, brother, sister might not be remembering these things because there might be that underlying issue. But it also comes into play with other health issues. You could have a severe UTI and not cognitively remember certain things.
To take your meds or to say something about it or go to the doctor and make an appointment.
Exactly.
So this is a dumb question because it replies to me. So Joyce can change her hair color by quite a bit and I won't notice because that's just not something I pay attention to. It's sad. She gets mad at me. But do men get diagnosed earlier than women sometimes just because women pay attention to that stuff more so than men do?
I personally don't know the statistics off of the top of my head, but I have actually witnessed more women. Although I think that it is easier to detect in men.
Yeah, okay. Watch me because I don't know what to say or forget everything.
In your situation, that might just be because you're looking at her face every day and you're not, look at the bigger picture.
I do cheat because it goes in the calendar now when she gets her hair done. So I
don't notice it at all.
I
Someone
don't
will
notice.
you could come in an hour later with your hair way shorter and I would not notice at all.
I wouldn't
terrible.
notice if Colton trimmed his beard or cut his hair. The past 2 times I've been pretty bad about that.
That's a lot of beard days. You got to go way back.
Yeah, exactly.
So being compassionate in senior care has to be difficult because after, being in these, when grandma was going through it and everything else, that people get flustered. And when they get flustered, they get mad, and they don't even know why they're mad. How do you kind of handle that as, well, first of all, you handle it in the moment and training people how to do that, but also how do you handle that as far as just the mental stress and anguish that comes along with it?
It's meeting them halfway. If you're upset with me, I'm going to want to sit down with you, maybe take your hand and say, let's get to the bottom of this. What can I do to make you feel better? And if it's absolutely nothing, I'm so frustrated. I just don't understand why I'm here. Why am I here? What am I doing? Well, you're with your Bickford family. You're with us. What can I do to make you feel better? And whether that be a phone call to a family member, or maybe that's going through an old yearbook. And that yearbook, those were the best times of your lives. It's getting to know the person on a deeper level, on a connection basis to make that care personalized, knowing what they like, what they dislike, what are certain things that bring them joy and happiness that we can work with you, and whether it just be, sitting down and letting you vent. Taking that extra time to do those things makes a world of a difference. And I know for me, like I said earlier, I lose my car keys all the time. And it is so frustrating. And I get so mad at myself. So I couldn't imagine not being able to remember a whole part of your life. But that one part of your life was so great. And oh my gosh, those kids might be grown up now, but let's look at those pictures of those kids and tell me about them. You tell me about your grandparents, tell me about your high school, tell me about how you met your husband, where you grew up. Getting to know those specific things with seniors is so important when it comes to those challenges that may come up down the road.
Can you give us a real life example of the compassion that showed a difference in a resident's life?
Yeah, so I specifically think of one resident that had come to us struggling with a little bit of mobility. She used to crochet all the time and couldn't crochet anymore, had injured her arm, was working with physical therapy, but was really, really down about it. She does the seated exercises, and this resident would come down every single day like clockwork. So on the days that Jess might not be there, she had the exercise printouts in front of her. She would do them in her room to supplement that. At first, she was very wary about it. She's like, I'm not sure I really want to do this. I don't know if I want to go down there. I'm going to embarrass myself. No, I'm not coming. Through a little persuasion and a little bit of extra time every single day that Jess spent with her, saying, hey, I really think that you could benefit from this. I really think that this is going to be a good thing for you. And it might be scary at first, but let's just try it. I'm going to sit with you. I'm going to be there the whole time. I'm your friend and I've got your back. Let's do this. Let's get you into these exercises. So through therapy and exercises, she came to me one day and she had tears in her eyes. And she said, Lily, I can crochet again. Oh, and I was like, you can? She's like, I can do this again. She said, just push me just enough, a little bit of gentle persuasion that, talking to her as an individual and talking to her as her instead of, hey, are you coming to exercise? No. Okay. See ya. Just that extra 5 minutes a day that she spent really made that difference in her life. And now she can wash her own hair. She can do all sorts of things. It wasn't just the therapy and those interventions, but that also uplifted her spirit. You see her smile more. She comes out more. She's built more friends within our community and wants to get involved with a lot more things. So being her little closed off, quiet self, she's blossomed and bloomed and is loving it. And it's just really, really fun to watch those things happen in real time. Just those success stories is what really brings me that true, it makes me feel so warm. My heart explodes over it.
Yeah. And as you do that for someone else, it makes you happy. And then you get to go home and be a better person at home.
Exactly. Yeah. It's inspiring. That's where it really comes from is, okay, that extra 5 minutes a day, what can I spend my extra 5 minutes on to make somebody else's day and to help them live their best life?
I had a consultant helping us with something here a little while ago, and one of the things she talked about was micro changes you can do every day that have big results.
Absolutely.
put your phone down or whatever it might be. Make sure you talk to somebody. Make sure you call somebody.
And that positivity too, spreading positivity throughout the entire community, being a smiling face. Not everybody's going to have a good day. So I always say energy is so contagious. You can walk into work and have a bad day and it might spread like wildfire. Now 5 people are having a bad day. Well, when you're walking into Bickford and you're having a great day, you all of a sudden see people start to perk up a little bit. They're smiling, they're laughing. Did you see that crazy dance move that Lily just did? Why is she running around here with a cowboy hat on,
That smile goes a long way.
It really does.
So speaking of the community and changing the community, what can Fort Dodge do better to support their elderly?
I truly think being proactive, encouragement through let's get outside, let's breathe some fresh air, making sure that you're putting those plans in place for the future, and just reaching out and gaining that kind of knowledge of what's out there for our seniors is huge.
I know my mother plays cards 6 days a week.
Yeah, there you go.
All kinds of groups of people. And
your local
That's
churches
important.
too. Your local churches have groups as well.
Oh, yeah. I had a couple move into town and they're about the same age as, actually from Humboldt, so was my mom. And I'm like, Mom, you got to call Deb and invite her to Bunko. Yeah. And then I talked to Deb and she goes, that's really not my thing, but thank you so much for thinking about me. And, they kind of have their own thing now and they're meeting people, but
yeah,
it's just those things that, hey, call Deb.
Absolutely. Well, and volunteering,
Awesome.
Bickford is always accepting volunteers. Give us a call. We'll put you in contact with Jess, find out what kind of activity we want to do together, or if you just want to come by and help, check the place out. St. Ed's Discipleships come by and they sit and they'll play bingo or they'll play cards, or we do, like the fly swatter and balloon games. Those are super fun and that gets everybody laughing because it's just so goofy, but it's fun. And having anybody that you don't see every day come in and show that kind of love, like, hey, I'm here to hang out with you. That is incredible. Judy Warwick comes out and they do an awesome job. It's truly about just reaching out and learning about those volunteering opportunities are great. We've had, we have live music that comes in, Elvis that will come and perform. That is huge. I love it. It really gets people dancing, and that's my favorite thing. I love dancing around. So I love to see it, and it just brings joy. Yeah.
Is there a volunteer position where I could just bring a 6-pack of beer and sit on the couch and watch basketball?
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
I'm going to watch Iowa State basketball at Bickford.
There you go.
Beer.
Come on down for happy hour. I love
March
it.
Madness, baby.
Oh, yes.
So do you have any advice for families that are just getting the process started? Like they don't know where to go, what to do, but they know they have a mother or grandparent that's getting there?
One thing that I will say is that anybody that's visiting an assisted living or a senior living website,
Stop.
No. Oh. No. There's a reason for that.
I thought you were going to say, get offline.
No.
That's what we say in real estate. Stop looking at them. Let's just go look at them.
Exactly. Come to us. So if you visit our website, you're going to get a prompter and you're going to connect right to me. So if you're visiting our website and you're filling out this information, it's not for no reason. So when I call you, answer the phone. Answer the phone and come see me. Information over the phone or information off of a website is so cold. You want to see it firsthand. Everybody that is searching for assisted living for their loved one wants the best possible place. And without seeing it for yourself, without walking through those front doors, you're not going to get that. You're just getting cold, hard facts. You're going to look at that and you're not going to feel it. Because home is a feeling, love is a feeling. And when you see things firsthand, when you see the way that our caregivers are called Bickford family members, when you see them interacting with the residents, that's when you're going to decide, is this a good place for my loved one? And so you're not just visiting those websites. There's a reason behind it. And that reason is it's time to make that next step, whether it be you're looking for 3 to 5 years from now. That's okay. Come visit us once. We'll keep in contact. And then 3 to 5 years from now, come to visit us again and we can move forward from there. but you're looking at this for a reason. So let's get to the bottom of the issue. And I think a lot of families too deal with that caregiver guilt. Like, oh gosh, I don't want to send my parents off to an assisted living facility. They want to stay at home. But the bottom line is it the safest option to get your parents or your grandparents, your loved ones on that higher path? We have to stay proactive about this care. We have to get them safe, happy, and healthy to live happier, healthier, and longer.
Yeah, I never even thought of it. Like, you know, when we're younger and we have kids and we're looking at daycares, you go to the daycare.
Absolutely.
And you ask them, you know, these couple questions. I remember walking into one, my wife had like a list of like 10 questions, and we went down to this lady's basement and we were there for like 3 seconds and we're just like both thinking, nope.
No.
Yep.
And then Jenny asked her 2 questions and she's like, okay, well, thank you. Like, I was like, all right, she's on the same page as me. Like,
Yeah,
let's
we're
get
done.
the heck
Let's
out
go.
of here.
Well, it's just like
But it's
you guys
important to
said.
get there.
Yeah, looking at houses. You know, you're not just looking on the MLS website for, you're going to buy a house one day.
It is so funny.
Let's go start looking at these houses.
At some point, stop asking questions and get in there.
Yes.
Yeah. And
it's
you
taking
know
that
when you
jump.
walk into, and I'll walk into a house with a couple and we'll look at 20 houses and we'll get to 21 and they'll walk in and all of a sudden you see their face change. Like, oh yeah, we don't have to look at any more houses today, do we? Nope, this is it. Okay, let's go to the office.
Yeah, and have those hard conversations, because it's not an easy thing to navigate, but having those harder conversations prior to that adverse event where you're stuck and you're like, I know nothing and now I need to figure something out right now. If you plan ahead over time, it'll make it easier on you and it'll be easier on your loved one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of misconceptions about senior living and retirement homes, whatever you want to call them. What are some of those misconceptions?
I think a lot of the misconceptions that we get for Bickford is that we're a nursing home, and we're not. We are an assisted living, even though we are able to provide just a little bit more care than your average assisted living. We're still assisted. So it is not 24-hour nursing care. I also think that other misconceptions I've heard is, you know, I don't want my mom or my dad to just be a number.
Yeah.
You know, you're just a room number to that. You know, you're just here to just do your job. I think that the caregivers, if you're a caregiver anywhere, you go into it with that heart of, I'm making a difference in somebody else's life, and you're taking care of other people's lives. So you have to look at the bigger picture of, you know, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Why do you want to be a caregiver? And those questions come into factor, you know, with interview processes and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you're not a number. You're Todd.
Yeah.
And you're Jeremiah. And that's how we want to keep you guys Todd and Jeremiah. We don't want you to fall into that.
Yeah, they're
this
room
is just a
242.
job. Yeah.
I was going to say Todd 242.
Yeah,
That's right.
Todd wants another bourbon. Who's going to get him one? You know, something like that. But in reality, it's getting you that bourbon because that's your personality and that's who you are. And if you like to do that and play cards with your buddies at the end of the day, we're going to make sure that happens and truly take care of you like you were our family.
And I can bluff better than anybody else because I don't remember my cards.
I think it's just so hard with assisted livings, with skilled nursing, with nursing care in general. Everyone is going to have an opinion. And until you walk into those doors, see it firsthand, come have lunch with me, sit down with other residents, just bring your loved one in and just have lunch with us, or come sit in an activity. Come in when Elvis is singing. We've got the baseball open days coming up soon. Come in, grab a hot dog, things like that is going to show you more what it's about than having anybody just tell you, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I had a client in there about 6 months ago, and I had to go in there to get a bunch of signatures and this and that. It is a really comfortable place.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like every time I walked in, everybody's happy to get the door, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Scared I was
Smiles
going to
on
get
your
locked in
face.
for a second, and then I couldn't get back out. But
We are
I was
locked.
setting the
alarm
alarms.
off.
I did one time. I was like, I'm sorry.
No, that's totally fine. We are a locked community, or a secure community, I should say. The doors to the front and then our exit doors are locked unless there is an emergency. But that is for the safety of the residents that have that little bit of higher memory. They need that little bit of higher memory care. And one of my favorite features about it is that in the middle of Bickford is a courtyard. So it's a completely enclosed courtyard. So during the summertime, if you want to go and sit out on the patio, please do. We have a grill out there. We like to do grill outs. We
What
encourage.
about yesterday?
Yesterday, probably not.
It was a little
cold out
little
there.
chilly.
But usually you get to the
tornado.
sunroom and people will say, "Oh my gosh, it looks miserable outside."
Yeah.
Won't even try. So
To be fair, I think I've set the alarm off at every one of the nursing homes in
Yeah.
town.
Yes, I have too.
And in Humboldt.
yeah, I think I have as well.
How many times have you had the cops show up to one of your showings?
3.
3? I am also on 3.
The sheriff comes up and he's like, "Oh, hi, Todd."
Again.
The one time it's like, you guys can go on in. I have to. The police are going to be here in a second. So
I used to do that at Old
it's me.
Boston.
I had an acreage and he was so mad because it was one of those days with the gravel.
Oh no, all the way out there.
So gravel road, 3 miles of gravel. You could just see him. He's like, "Really, Todd?" I'm like, "I tried to shut it off. I'm trying to get a hold of him because it was, I think it was one of your listings." Oh, I think it was Kyle Olson's listing. It just made me laugh.
Where do you see senior care evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
I see it evolving immensely with like different outcome-based technologies that we can put into place. Wearable health monitors that will be able to detect things a little bit quicker than doing it manually. I see it evolving 100%. They have,
Just by like wearing a watch?
yeah, well, there are watches that
Have you seen the
can
EKG
wear.
monitor for $75 where you put your 2 fingers on it to do a full EKG?
No way.
Yeah, I saw it on TV. I get all the old people shows now, so I got all
They
old
also
people
have
ads.
like rings that you
Yeah, they
can
target
wear.
us different. I'm young and hip. I get all this cool stuff. Todd just knows everything about medicine and old people technology.
Oh, I love it.
I love
No,
you.
I
Sorry.
truly think so. I heard about these. I heard about specific toilets that can detect UTIs like automatically.
Oh, yeah.
So there are different things that we will see in the future coming into our buildings. Currently, right now, we have wearable monitors or wearable alarms that you can, call somebody down if you need anything. But in the future, I see that expanding 100%.
Your Fit Better Apple Watch is going to catch on before
Yeah,
anything
exactly.
else. It's constantly keeping track. Oh, your
Yep.
heartbeat's up, or your blood pressure's up, or whatever.
Have you seen those rings that you can wear that track like
Yep.
your sleep? I had read an article about a woman that had found out that she had cancer from wearing one of those rings because of it kept alerting her of some sort of like blood pressure and heart rate and whatnot. Like that's incredible. So as technology advances, I believe that we'll see it changing a lot. And hopefully that'll help us maintain on our higher path, like I said, where, we try to get ahead of those things and keep you happier and healthier longer. With our higher path too, our director, our health and wellness director, our divisional nurses, and our happiness coordinator, and then our partners, Kirana and Millennium, we take an hour and a half out of our day every Thursday to really sit down in a Teams meeting and go through our residents and say, okay, how are we doing? So-and-so hasn't been coming out as much lately. What's going on? What can we do? And that really helps too, that clear communication and making sure that, our charting is all done online in one central location. You're not missing a paper. You don't have to spend twice the amount of time to write it down. Usually people type faster nowadays.
Yeah.
So those things that we can really look at and analyze that data, it's incredible. Right now, I think our call light response time was at 3 minutes, which was incredible compared to some that you see that could be 5 to 10. Being able to monitor what our average call light time is huge. So we can also keep up on our training with our staff. So
So this is one of those off questions, but the hospice house is shutting down.
Yes.
How is that going to affect you at Beck? Are you going to be able to have hospice? You probably already have hospice care that comes there.
Yeah.
Is this just going to be one more thing where, somebody can come to Bickford instead of having or going to the Paula Baber house?
Yeah,
It's not there?
it breaks my heart that they're shutting down. But at the same time, all of our hospice can come right in-house. So Unity Point at Home for even just at-home care to supplement the care that we might not be able to provide, they can come right into Bickford, just like you were in anybody else's house. We have hospice that comes in directly. Obviously, hospice is your choice of what hospice you would like. So we work closely with them to make sure that we're getting all the updates that we need. Our health and wellness director usually takes over that kind of realm as it's more clinical.
Yep.
But we do see those faces, and they send in musical therapists and do the things to supplement that care. So your loved one doesn't have to leave their apartment. They can stay at Bickford. Your hospice can come right to you.
All the people they recognize, all the people they know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I was talking to Leah Glasgow about this, she had told us in a meeting, and I go, it's kind of almost, it's going to sound bad, but it's almost a little bit of a blessing that we don't need the hospice house. Mm-hmm. I think their average population, whatever, was 1. They went months without opening because technology is allowing people to live their life, to end their life at home and with people and places they're used to. And it does break your heart. I mean, my grandmother died there, aunts, I've been there a lot over the years, but people don't, that's not how people pass away anymore. They die at home. They die around friends, family, their dog, their pets, cats, whatever. And I think it's almost a blessing that that's not something we need like we needed it, 15, 20 years ago when we built it. So
I 100% agree, because that's how I would want it in my life. I mean, if you ask anybody, everybody wants to stay at home for as long as possible. Yeah. Why not bring that care directly to you so you don't have to get up and move. You can just go through it here with, like you said, your friends and your family.
Well, with the nurses you recognize and the happy coordinator and all that stuff is all the people you know.
You developed, we're kind of a smaller community. So we can house up to 30, we have 38 apartments. So our staff really gets to know these residents. It truly is like family. I know I've said that so many times, but it hits us hard. And that is one of those challenges of working in healthcare, is that you develop those relationships with these people. They become so close to you. You see them and take care of them every single day. So it's also nice to have that extra support, that extra person to be there also for the family during that time.
Yep.
You mentioned pets. Bickford is pet friendly, so I
can bring Jethro.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Big O. He'd cuddle with you.
I'll drop my dogs off there.
They would love it.
Oh yeah.
They tear the whole place up.
Oh yeah.
Jethro's 11 now. I don't know if you remember Jethro.
Yes.
And he's got the big gray beard, and his hips are bad, so he gets on the couch 1 foot at a time, and he lays down. So he'd fit right in at Bickford. He just crawled from the couch and put his head on somebody's lap, and he's 110 pounds, so he's got this ginormous head, and he puts his head next to you, and he's just so warm and cuddly.
Just a sweetheart.
Yeah.
County Fair Day, we had mini ponies there.
Oh, neat.
Chickens and goats, and it was really, really fun. And then it brings out a different side of people that you might not know. So a certain resident was like, "Oh, I used to ride horses. You never told me that. Let's hear about this. Oh, I won this. And then she's showing me pictures. I'm like, tell me more about that."
Queen,
yeah, exactly.
1939.
I love it.
So what, for you, to kind of finish things up, what has been the most rewarding thing about what you've done at Bickford?
The relationships by far. I feel like whether you come to Bickford or you don't, it takes a lot of vulnerability to open up about such sensitive subjects. And a lot of people that open up to me, I really take it personally, and I'm sharing that struggle with you, and I want to help you get through it. So those relationships go as deep as the resident to their extended family members. People that have had loved ones there that have since passed will still come and visit Bickford. That tells me that that I'm doing what I set out to do my whole life, and creating those relationships and those memories and being a part of such a challenging transition is huge. And I take that as a huge honor to be a part of that and to be that shoulder to hold your hand and the shoulder to cry on when you have nowhere else to turn. If you let me help you, I want to see you get through it, and then let go of that guilt, that caregiver guilt that you carry, and truly come around where you get to have that time back with your immediate kids. Then you get to still take dad on walks and go to Perkins for breakfast every Sunday and go back to that normalcy of life without it having it be so challenging to take care of your job and take care of your loved one and end up in that routine cycle. It's so rewarding to see that change in other people's lives. And then also to see people live to be 102 and still be able to tell their stories and thrive and walk down the hallways and have the residents give the caregivers hugs and say, you know what, you really made a difference in my life. That story with our happiness coordinator and the resident that can shower herself again and crochet, those are the things that make my heart warm, fuzzy, and truly keeps me going every single day.
That's awesome. Thank you for being here, Lily. We really appreciate taking time out of a super busy day.
That was incredible.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it. And come visit Bickford Senior Living.
All right. I'll bring beer.
You keep hanging out with those old people.
I will.
And Todd.
And Todd.
Yes.
That's a wrap at today's episode of Talk Fort Dodge.
Stay connected with us on social media and join us next time as we continue exploring Fort Dodge's stories through the lens of two lifelong Dodgers. I'm Jeremiahjcondon.
And I'm Todd McCubbin, and this is Talk Fort Dodge.
This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarket.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarket.com. That's digitalagent@spinmarket.com or 515-302-8026. Or visit our website at www.spinmarket.com.